The annual Globalists United summit ended with a twist. Terrorists demanding a permanent seat at the table when it comes to tackling climate change. The Taliban now demanding representation at all future UN global climate talks after returning from COP29.
Now, they say never negotiate with terrorists, but the terrorists did some mighty fine negotiating for themselves. Afghanistan set to walk away with a piece of the $300 billion annual commitment made by richer countries to poorer countries to deal with climate change.
Joining us now, former EPA Chief of Staff under the first Trump administration, Mandy Gunasekara. Mandy, great to see you. This is a terrific reason for the United States to just officially abandon this global boondoggle of a heist, because we are not going to fund terrorists, this is what this is.
That's exactly right. And Dagan, that is one of the first steps I would suggest the Trump administration take, is pulling out of this umbrella treaty. It's called the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or UNFCCC, and it's an absolute joke. It's not about the climate. And the Taliban are the latest to actually see this for what it is, which is a giant money laundering scheme whereby richer nations give money to poorer nations in the name of climate change. And the Taliban's good at making demands, and the left has shown a willingness to give into those demands. They understand that under the new Trump administration, this is going to end, so they're looking for more ways to access billions of dollars. And they know that the UNFCCC and these climate conferences is a good way. Right before this latest conference in Azerbaijan, Oxfam put out a report that of $100 billion that had been invested, $41 billion couldn't be accounted for. So the terrorists see this opportunity, and the left global world order that runs it is willing to give in, which is absolutely absurd. And it's time for the United States to get out.
Mandy, how much of that $300 billion is ours? And what does it take, if any of it is ours, to claw it back? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, that's a really good question. The United States has given trillions of dollars, or they've said that they were going to give trillions of dollars through both the Obama administration and the Biden administration. Now, depending on where that money is, whether it is out the door or not, depends on how effectively the Trump administration can actually claw it back. But I know that they are looking into all sorts of mechanisms to pull back this money from going towards organizations that don't deserve it, number one, or are willing to give it to the very terrorists that we know will use it to create problems in the United States. So there's all sorts of mechanisms to pull it back. The Trump administration is seriously looking at it, and rightfully so.
Also put the Paris Climate Accord up for a vote in Congress. Make them vote on it as a treaty. That way, another administration down the road can't re-enter it, because it is a global heist of American dollars. When our emissions are falling, China and India's emissions are climbing. Moving on to this in terms of leftist idiocy, Spain has introduced, the left-wing government there, paid climate leave. So workers in Spain, this is after some deadly flooding, but paid climate leave because bad weather is climate change.
Yeah, it is a tragic situation, and the loss of life is always horrible. But what this shows is that the left, whether it's in the United States or whether it's in Spain, will not let any type of catastrophe go to waste, and they will try to use it, and the fear and the pain around natural disasters, they will try to use that to justify socialist policies, which is exactly what you're trying to see here. The government is trying to take over what should be a decision between the business and a worker who has a vested interest in keeping their workers safe, happy, and alive as a baseline. And so that's a relationship that should be fostered and protected. The government doesn't need to step in and give workers, 4 days of an excuse to not come into work because it's raining or windy outside. It's just really bad policy across the board, and shows you this is about pushing socialism. It is not about protecting public health, protecting people, or doing anything to mitigate emissions.
It turns climate change into an entitlement. if you have climate change day off. You'll never give that up. You'll want more of them. And the crisis hangs around forever, and it'll always be a crisis. Very sneaky, like the Taliban trying to take money for climate change. They're playing us. They're just playing us left and right. It's got to stop. Mandy, great stuff. Good to see you.
Good to see y'all. Thank you.